Hey, how's it going, everybody? I hope everybody's doing well tonight. I figured I'd just jump in here and talk a little 49er football with the latest goings on of the last couple days. Um, I don't go live that much just because of my work schedule, but I figured I'd come on here before I go to bed, just talk to you guys, see how everybody's doing, see how everybody's feeling about the 49ers right now, and all the, training camp news and roster news and injury news and all that stuff. So hopefully everybody's doing well and trying to stay safe in this crazy world. And let's talk some Niners. So I feel like the Trey Lance Jimmy Garoppolo thing is going to be beaten to death just because of people like myself or people, of the media who make it more than what it needs to be. But the training camp battle rages on, or I don't know if you can call it training camp at this point. It's more or less practice now. With the competition between the two of them, with the double practice with the Chargers, it's a back and forth thing. Jimmy has his usual hiccups with the interceptions. Today they said that the Chargers defense was pretty good, or their defensive line was pretty good against the Niners offensive line. But I've also heard that the Niners defensive line, supposed training camp sacks, registered 6 sacks on the Chargers. So, interesting day all around. There's a big highlight of Juwan Jennings going down the left sideline and one-on-ones, and Trey Lance putting it right in the bucket. So nice to see. Um, Trey Lance has a lot to work on still. I feel like his preseason game, he had some good strong points, but he also, to me, had some issues with some accuracy and footwork, and the offensive line didn't do him any favors either. So, there's a lot to go on, a lot to work on. And remember, he's only 21 years old, so you can't make any judgment calls or come to any conclusions at all. So, uh, just myself, I'm the type of person sometimes I let myself get too emotionally wrapped up in stuff, but I'm just going to let things kind of play themselves out. Um, you know, my whole thing is just trying to get through training camp with as few as injuries as possible. Players that have been really hurt the last couple of years are doing. I don't know, a guy like D Ford, he's doing well. He's been really having a strong camp, looking like his old self. But then there's a guy like Jalen Hurd, who's now going to be out for at least a week to 10 days with knee tendonitis, and you wonder if the Jalen Hurd ship has officially sailed. Um, with Juwan Jennings doing so well, Trent Sherfield doing so well, and maybe even a guy like Simba Webster cracking the top 6 receivers, you wonder if Hurd's even going to get a roster spot. And it's sad, but at the same time, it has to go to people that put the work in and that are available. And there comes a point in time where you just got to cut your losses. It's not a personal shot towards the guy. I don't know, man. Some bodies aren't meant for football, I guess. Some people just aren't meant to put up with the rigors of cutting and planting and turning direction quickly. And, their bodies just can't put up with it. What's going on, Frank Tom Ocean? How you doing, man? Thanks for popping in here. Figured I'd pop on for a little bit before I go to bed. I haven't been on the last couple days. Frank Tom Ocean says I'm ready. Yeah, me too, brother. Um, I took the first week off of work. I think the first Sunday and second Sunday, I overlapped my schedule. So the first 2 weeks of the season, I'm going to be home on both Sundays enjoying football. It's going to be great. Can't wait. Football to me is kind of a dual-edged sword because I get really stressed and really emotionally wrapped up in these games. So I'm just going to try to do my best to be a lot calmer. Last year, I didn't expect anything because of the injuries, so I didn't really get emotionally invested. But if this team actually goes into the season with some health and some expectations, then my stress level is going to go way up. So, yeah. But yeah, to go back on the Jalen Hurd point, I just think He hasn't touched the field in 3 years, and the Niners have invested a lot of time and a lot of resources into him, and it hasn't worked out. Now, you wonder how much he wants it and how much is injury and how much is just, I don't know, psychological. So, hopefully we'll get an answer within the next 10 to 12 days if he's even still on this team. But it's looks like it's not going to end well, but I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Your two favorite holidays are week 1 football and Super Bowl. Yeah, me too. It would be great if we were in the Super Bowl this year and we actually won it. That would be awesome. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm just trying to figure something out on my stream here. For some reason, my name's not popping up in the little bottom left corner. J Mouse, what's up, man? How you doing? I'm doing well. Just popping on before I go to bed here. It's I had a long day at work and I have an early wake up tomorrow. So, but I wanted to just get your guys' thoughts on everything that's going on right now, training camp and all the goings on of all that stuff. I mean, the dream. How you doing, man? Thanks for popping in here. I wanted to figure, how I got to say this. What do you guys think of the situation the Niners are dealing with right now as far as injuries go? You know, it's been a constant source of irritation and source of a lot of talk over the last couple of years. And, you know, you look at the guys we've already lost. Austin Watkins Jr. was waived and released because of the injury that he had. And I think he reverted back to IR. You know, Trent Williams is dealing with some stuff. Javon Kinlaw has been kind of a question to me that really what's going on with him? Like, what's going on with Javon Kinlaw? Where has he been? Like, what's he dealing with? You know, he's causes a lot of issues in, you know, camp with fights, and he's kind of a hot and cold kind of guy, runs a little bit crazy. You know, he talks a good game on the podium, but I want to see this guy actually get on the practice field and show that he's made a leap from week 1 or year 1 to year 2. You know, I get tired of guys talking big game and not really like coming through, you know. What's good, Jay in the Bay? Thank you very much for the $5 super chat. At this point, Jalen Hurd he can't justify a spot. And it's not a personal shot from me or even any of us. Look at Juwan Jennings, man. He's a 7th round draft pick. Seventh, like the last round in the draft. I know the draft used to have, you know, a lot more rounds back in the day, but this dude was a last round pick and he is balling in camp. He balled in the preseason game 1. He's looked good all camp from all the reports and all the highlights. And then you got a guy who was a 3rd round pick who hasn't touched the field in 3 years. And every time he does touch the field, whether it's a practice field or what, he gets hurt. And all us Niners fans do is talk about what if he was healthy. That's all we ever talk about with like 3/4 of our roster. So to me, it's at a point now where if he makes the team as like a practice squad guy, I'd be very, very shocked. And if he doesn't make the team, I won't be surprised at all. So to everybody in here, like I said, I'm not cracking on the guy because of whatever his issue is. I just, you know, football is a game of people being available. And if you're not available, then that's it, you know? So I don't want him to be cut and then catch on with another team. I'm almost at the point now where if he doesn't make the team, he ends up retiring or something, you know? It's not like the Niners haven't given him any chances. It's not like they've given up on him, you know, if that's the storyline people want to play with. down the road if he was able to catch on and actually have a good career. The Niners didn't give up on him. The Niners have done more than enough for him. They've given him every opportunity and kept him on this roster. So, and like J Mouse is saying, Juwan Jennings and Trent Sherfield will make this team. Yeah, they look fantastic. Let's just hope everybody stays healthy. That's all I gotta say. NFL stands for not for long. Wasn't that don't tell me the coach, Frank Tom Ocean? I know you know what I'm talking about. He coached the Falcons. He said it to a referee one time. What's his name? Oh, you can tell me. I forget his name. The old coach of the Falcons in the early 90s. I'm trying to think of his name. But anyways, Frank Tom Ocean isn't a troll. He's a nice guy. I like Frank. He's a good guy. Don't worry about it. He's just messing around. How you doing, 49ers Alternate Report? I think we'll have a great year, too, if we can stay healthy. There's some guys I'm worried about right now. Like I said, I'm worried about Javon Kinlaw. I'm worried about Trent Williams right now. Like I said, at this point, I'm not really concerned about Jalen Hurd because I think he's pretty much an afterthought, at least to me. So I think another thing to talk about, too, another guy that got hurt with the shoulder issue, who played an absolutely horrendous preseason game and also has had a really bad camp, is Aaron Banks. I talked about this in a previous live stream. A second-round pick who looks this bad right now, that's a definite worry in my book. I know Jay in the Bay kind of feels the same way. It's kind of like, man, you don't want to write the guy off or anything because it's only one it's only one preseason game and who knows, maybe he gets better, but it's definitely a concern, especially with that right guard position being the way it's been the last couple of years. So, Jay in the Bay says, fortunately, we have a lot of depth on the D-line, but I'd be lying to say I wasn't worried about Kinlaw. Yeah, like, what's his deal? I know Givens is having a really good camp. DJ Jones, guys like Kentavious Street. But, yeah, like, I just want to know what's going on with him. He's in a fight every other time he's out there, but he's never out there really, so I don't know. All this is just good talking points right now. Hopefully it's all, nothing eventually. But yeah, it just kind of makes you pause. But as far as Aaron Banks goes, I am definitely worried about the right guard position. It's was a position that haunted us in the Super Bowl 2 years ago with Chris Jones, although I think Chris Jones would have beat up any right guard. Center, we are hopefully locked down pretty well for now. Hopefully Alex Mack stays healthy and has as close to a great season as he can at his age. But yeah, I am worried about Trent. Offensive line, man, people don't realize how important your offensive line is. Offensive line can break a good team. If you can't protect the quarterback, then you're beat. Unless the Niners just run the hell out of the ball and they're really productive, and then you just play action people to death. But Frank Tom Ocean. Oh, my Lord, man. A $10 super chat. Thank you very much. To the diehard 49er fans and Aaron's great. You're so nice. Thank you. Appreciate that. That means a lot. Holy poop. I'm starting to feel like Grant Cohn with all these super chats that you guys give me. Only I'm not a reporter and I don't get on Kyle Shanahan's nerves like he does, but I digress. It's unfortunate what happened with Austin Watkins Jr. Fracturing his foot. He would have been a nice guy to stash on the practice squad, and maybe been another Juwan Jennings next year. You know what I mean? I know he has, he's a late rounder just like Jennings, and actually no, he wasn't a late rounder. He was an undrafted free agent. I correct myself. So, if you miss out on a guy like that, it's not like, it didn't cost you anything. But if you make out on someone like that, then it's more, more power to the decision makers. All I got to say is this: for as bad as the Niners miss on a lot of early picks, they really, really seem to nail the late rounders. If you think about a guy like Juwan Jennings, okay, he's like I repeated this before, he's a 7th round pick. If this man makes the team and is productive this year, the scouts need a raise, because our area scouts do a really good job of finding people that seem to slip through the cracks. I mean, a lot of people are saying that Dre Greenlaw is going to have a really good year, and that he, is going to take the next step. You got to think he's a 5th rounder. So Dre Greenlaw, trying to think about Fred Warner was what, a 3rd rounder. So, Kittle was a 5th rounder. So, yeah, I mean, the Niners, for what they miss on early picks, they seem to hit in the later rounds. So thank you, 49ers Ultimate Report. Yeah, as soon as you hit 1K, brother, you have to sign up for that stuff like ASAP. So there'll be an area in the YouTube studio where you go to monetization. And once you hit it, you sign up for all that. I know Jay has already got, Jay got the ability for people to donate to him a lot quicker than I did. He got it quick. Mine took a little bit longer. So yeah. How's it doing, Fernando? I'm doing all right, man. Little late night stream here for me on the East Coast. It's almost 9:30. I'm tired. But I just wanted to talk some Niner ball with you guys. And I think, the thing with Hurd too is he has knee tendonitis now. So he went from a back injury that put him out the whole year, a fracture that he was supposed to come back from as a setback. That didn't happen. Then he couldn't travel to the Super Bowl. Remember, he had to stay because he worried about his back. Then he gets on the practice field last year, steps on the side field and blows his knee out on an air. Comes back this year with a lot of fans like myself and Jay and people really like hoping and praying that he turns out. And now he's got knee tendonitis. Like I said, some people's bodies just are not built for professional sports. And then you take a guy like Frank Gore, who blew out, I think, both knees in college and had one of the most prolific careers of all time and has been so durable. So, go figure, right? The human body is something that none of us will ever figure out. Hopefully Bosa comes back soon. From all the reports, he's going to come back next week. And hopefully he can do what Ford's been doing and just woo and wow people at camp. I'm glad the Niners are taking it slow with him and doing the long game and not pushing him back. Knee injuries are nothing to sneeze at. So I'm totally okay with the Niners taking the long approach on him. Do the Niners have 7 or 6 receiver when the season starts? Oh man. I don't see Richie James making this team. I would assume most of you guys agree. He's had tons of opportunities and he's dropped the ball in games. He's dropped the ball in practice, fumbled, whatever you can think of. He's been doing wrong. So I don't think he'll make it. Maybe the dude we got from the Chargers, who we signed that sat out last year. I'm trying to think of his name right now. Benjamin. Maybe he's number 7. But it'll be interesting. Maybe we have 6 and we stash one on the, practice squad. You got to remember, there's also going to be cuts after training camp. So who knows? The Niners might pick up somebody in the wake of all the cuts before the season starts. I could see the Niners signing another corner too, because there was some reports that today in the scrimmage / practice with the Chargers that the Niners secondary was looking a little ragged. Verrett got beat deep on one, which, Keenan Allen's like one of the best receivers in the NFL. So I don't really get too worried about something like that because it's Keenan freaking Allen. You know what I mean? He's not a bum. And the Chargers have some players. So, take everything with a grain of salt with all these reports. Got to remember it's not full game speed. Some of these things are one-on-ones, with no pass rush. So, take it with a grain of salt. I try to. One thing that I will say that is a little bit alarming to me and a little bit shocking is the fact that Mosley has an issue right now going on with his hammy. So, you know, he just came back from all that stuff and now he's out again with a hammy issue. So, the injuries with this team, it just seems like it just keeps on going. It's like the gift that keeps on giving. But hopefully his hammy's good to go when the season starts. Niners could have really used uh, another corner in free agency this year to shore up that defense. Hello, sir. How are you? Thanks for popping in here. Yeah, Nasimba Webster, I think his name is. Yeah, I think he takes over for Richie. I agree. Uh, he's got a little bit of that stanky leg on the return, man. He was making really smooth cuts on that one return he did against the Kansas City in the preseason. So, yeah, I see Nasimba taking over for him too. You got to contribute, man. You have to contribute. If you don't contribute, then you shouldn't be on the team. Straight up. The way I look at it is you have to have some sort of value, whether it's special teams or whatever. If you don't have any value on this team and you're only a one trick pony, especially a back of the end roster kind of guy, then you're not worth keeping. Guy like Nasimba can probably be your sixth receiver, and you could also be a kick returner too. You said the Niners are, yeah, I've seen that too. I don't know what they'd have to give up for MJ though. I don't know if it would be anything substantial. They can give up like a fourth rounder maybe. Um, I would be okay with that, but if it's anything more than that, I'd say no. Fernando says, I agree. I've been upset with Richie James. I want him cut already. I said he's trash. Yeah, I've always been a little bit indifferent on him. Um, he's flashed sometimes and done some good things, but for the most part, um, there's a reason the coaches and Kyle have been hesitant to put him in games, and now you're starting to kind of see why that is. He's had more exposure, especially in this training camp and his first preseason game. So it's too bad, but you have to offer something to this team. You can't just stick on the roster because it's, a good old boy thing. If you don't produce, then, he could probably catch on with somebody else, but I don't, at this point, I feel like Nasimba Walker, Juwan Jennings, Trent Sherfield look like locks to make this team. And then you got Ayuk, Debo, and Travis Benjamin. So last time he flashed was in the Rams game since 2 years ago, and he won the Super Bowl. Yeah, I agree. That Super Bowl, I was talking with somebody at work about it the other day, how I'm still stuck on it. And they were like, you need to get over it. It's like an old breakup. Richard James, I want him to be good, but he's playing bad and drops passes. He's looking like a bust. Yeah. Well, it's not exactly a high draft pick. So at this point, if they let him go, it's not, I don't think the Niners are really going to lose anything, to be honest with you. The Niners special teams needs a lot of work. All I got to say, they need a lot of work. The special teams is hurting. They can't stop nobody. They can't get no returns other than that one that Nasimba had. Like they need a lot of work. This Niners team has some work to do before the season starts. Now, I can't really judge the defense because you're not going to see a lot of the starters in the preseason. So I can't make any judgment on that. You can make judgment on the depth of the offensive line. A lot of these backups look pretty bad. Niners need some work in some areas. It's, we can be competitive this year. We can give Seattle a run for their money in the division.
Um, I don't know if we can give the Bucks a run for their money, be honest with you. I'm being completely honest with you. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying, the Niners really, they got to step it up. They got to stay healthy. Their secondary could be a problem this year if that pass rush doesn't get home like all the time. The problem with the way that the Niners build their roster is they build a roster from the defensive line back. So defensive line pass rush is number one priority, and cornerback is not um, a priority because they think it's a rush and cover game. They figure if they get enough pressure, they can have average corners back there. The problem is if you don't get home on the rush and you have scrubs at corner, you get exposed. And Mosley's a solid corner. Verrett, when healthy, is probably top 5. And then they have Jimmy Ward, and then you're really thin after that. So definitely going to be something to watch. Hopefully the Niners can figure something out before the season starts. Like I said, if there's a training camp cut that they can add to their team, then I would do it. If they can trade for CJ Henderson, I would do it. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting next couple of weeks to see if the Niners can do any last minute tweak into their roster. I heard D Ford did well against the Chargers. Oh, yeah, I heard that too. I think he said he had like 4 sacks or something like that. Like if they counted him as sacks, they don't actually get to tackle it. But I guess if they like turn the corner and touch the quarterback or something, they count it as a sack. Yeah, I've heard that. That's good. Hopefully he can stay healthy. Hope that back can. You have to test the back, And what's funny is we signed Samson Abucom, right? He hadn't been injured his whole time with the Rams in his whole career. He comes to the 49ers, and now he's tweaked something, and he hasn't really been practicing in training camps. So it's like, is there something in the water in Santa Clara or something? Because people with no injury history come here and have some sort of problem. It's like, I don't know, man. It's nothing serious, I don't think, with Samson Abucom, but I don't know how active or how available he's been at camp. But I just think it's hilarious that like they signed somebody who hasn't had no injury history, and then as soon as he comes here, something happens. So James, I'm over. Yeah, Luke, I'm over him too. Cut him, get him out of here. I think Nasimba Webster is going to be a good player for the Niners. They need a kick returner, man. They need someone who can tilt field position because all the Niners did last year was catch fair catches and do nothing with the return game. So they need to get better return coverage. I heard that the Niners are interested or have been looking at an old faithful that used to be on this team years ago. I don't know if you guys remember Blake Castanzo. He was here during our Super Bowl years. He was like a gunner, special teams extraordinaire. Looks like the Niners might be looking at Blake Castanzo. That would be something. Right. It's just funny that like he wasn't hurt this whole time until he got here. And now all of a sudden he's got some issues. That's just makes no sense. But yeah, like Blake Costanzo would be a nice addition if we could add him back to these special teams. Talanoa Hufanga, I said it right, safety that we drafted in the 5th from USC. The knock on him was speed and recovery. They said he's looked well in camp. He runs like a 4.6, and they say that's slow for a safety. But who knows? Maybe the Niners end up having more depth at safety than they first thought, especially if they keep Clinton Dix and if Hufanga ends up turning out to be something. Again, another possible late round gem in Hufanga. So I'm stoked about him. I hope he can figure out the coverage part of the game because he's got the thumper part, the hitter, the tackler, the electric play. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, I saw Joe Staley. I think did he go down to San Diego with them? Yeah, he would make a great coach. Same thing with Frank Gore. Frank Gore would be an awesome running backs coach whenever he's ready. Um, invaluable knowledge from one of the greats, Hall of Famer, no doubt. There's nothing James offers that Benjamin or Webster can't give you. I think we give someone known. Yep, I agree. I noticed though that the Niners seem to hold on to guys that are either a Kyle Shanahan guy. He makes a decision on a guy like CJ Beathard, and he holds on to him way too long. On any other team, he wouldn't even make the roster. But because Kyle and John kind of spent a pick on somebody or they took a shot on somebody, they have like this loyalty that isn't really deserved. There's a little doubt that James is gone. Yeah, I don't think so. I think so too. Still got to figure out what's going on with Jalen Hurd. I feel bad for the kid and stuff, but eventually you just got to cut your losses, as they would say, and move on. Wonder why we got rid of Mark Nazachi. He was good on special teams. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he wanted too much. I know they paid him a pretty penny to have him last year. So if Hurd doesn't ball out in Las Vegas on the Las Vegas Raiders, then yeah. I don't even know if he's going to make it that far, to tell you the truth, bro, because he's got knee tendonitis now. He's missed last year with a knee injury. He missed the previous year with a back injury, a fracture of all things. And now they're shutting him down for 7 to 10 days. I've seen 10, I've seen 7. And then they're going to reevaluate him. If he comes back after this layoff and he's still hurting, then yeah, Fernando, then he's gone. It sucks. 3rd round pick is not that's a big miss. That's big. Solomon Thomas was a huge miss when you could have had Watson, or you could have had you could have had Deshaun Watson or Kansas City Kermit the Frog, whatever his name is. You know what I'm talking about. His name is escaping me right now. I can't believe it. So Mahomes. And so you miss on that. And then you trade, you go and you get a guy like oh my God, my brain is fried today. Reuben Foster, and he completely flames out. Those are some big misses. 3rd round misses are big too. Hopefully Debo can stay healthy this year, because I think Debo needs to show that he can do more than just catch screens. If he can get out there in the pattern and, catch some balls, it'd be nice. ACL and back injuries are no joke. You're not the same player as you were before. Example, like Jimmy G and Jerick McKinnon and Trent Taylor, others. Yeah. The Niners are all about setbacks though. But yeah, you're right. And that's why I think, getting anything out of him at this point is going to be a plus. But if it doesn't happen at this point, I think it's not a surprise, Unfortunately. I want to ask you guys a question. Do you think Juwan Jennings and Trent Sherfield are roster locks? Comment down below. And drop a like if you can on the stream. It helps YouTube find me. Let me know what you guys think. Imagine if you would have drafted DK Metcalf instead of had playing it. Yeah, I know. Kyle has this idea of what he thinks a receiver should be, and a guy who can get out of his breaks and short area quickness kind of garbage. But yeah, that would have been nice. I'm pissed because it's like you can't make him gut it out because he's hurt. His other need for compensating. I wanted him to play and show he's ready or get injured because I felt like, yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, Nick Mullins is not a good quarterback, guys. He's just not. Gold blood, he's just not a good quarterback.
Just think about it. We had him on our roster for how many years? The last 2, 3? Him and CJ Beathard, man. Woo, man. Now we're going to have a guy like Trey Lance as the backup. That's awesome. Since 2014, the 49ers have had 17 plus players on IR, 4 to 16 games. I don't know why so many people get. Yeah, you're right. Ever since we went to Santa Clara, this has been an issue. I don't understand. Like, the game was more physical when I was growing up. I tell you guys all the time how old I am, but the game was more physical back then. The game is more predicated on protecting players and player safety now, and guys are more hurt than ever. And the game back then, it was like the Wild West. You could smash quarterbacks. You could headhunt over the middle. I mean, you name it, you can do it. And now the game is super protective of people, and they're more hurt than ever. So, I don't know. Jennings, maybe. Nah, I think he's a lock, man. You might be right, though, but I think he's a lock. Sherfield, yes, I agree. I agree on that one. Is that something? We miss on draft picks, but then we find these players that are like scrap heap guys, and they come in and they ball out. Or a 7th rounder. Like, it makes absolutely zero sense. Yeah, that's too bad. I think Jennings, or excuse me, Hurd, it's got to feel bad standing on the sideline knowing that someone is taking his job and there's nothing he could do about it. We are glad Mullins is not on the team. You have no idea. Last season was atrocious to watch. Some of the worst quarterback play I've ever seen, and that includes Jimmy. Now, I know he was hurt and all that. Yeah. But whatever. Yeah. I'm just looking forward to getting to the start of this season, seeing our healthy defense on the field, and hopefully Garoppolo can play good enough. The thing with Garoppolo is he's kind of a crappy practice player, and sometimes it spills onto the field as too. But who knows? Maybe Garoppolo plays better this year because Trey Lance. But I don't think Trey Lance is exactly ready to play right now. And I know, like, when you watch that preseason game, you can see why the Niners kept Jimmy. And I've said this before, and I know Luke Luna agrees with me. He's still raw. There's a rawness to his game. He had the 2 almost interceptions. He has a little issue with his mechanics that kind of get a little wonky in his footwork. So, but he's the type of kid that works on it. He's going to go back. He's going to watch film. I don't know if you guys know who John Chapman is. He was showing one of the sacks that was given up during the game last Saturday with the Chiefs. There was a guy underneath that he could have hit, and he took the hit and took the sack and got whacked. And he actually had an outlet. He could have thrown it to the running back underneath. I think it was Wayne Gallman. So, little by little, this kid's going to get better and better. And he's gonna, study his game, and he's definitely a heady type player. So I have no doubt that he'll get better mentally. And then eventually it's just, you got to get the reps. The only way you're going to get better is if you get the reps. So it's a combination of both of those things. But I was hoping Wes Welker would be a better, right? I don't know I see the big deal with him. Like, how can I'm 6'3", right? How can a guy that's 7 inches shorter than me coach me about how to get open when a smaller player has a completely different skill set as far as like wiggle and short area quickness? And then you got a big lumbering guy who is more of a possession type receiver, a guy that can box out corners that are undersized. Like, what do you teach? Like, I don't get it. What's your area of expertise? Like, I agree on that one 100%. I think Patrick Willis should be in Canton, one of the greatest linebackers ever play football. You guys are going to kill me for this, but I feel like his career was too short. I do. I feel like he's, maybe he will get in there, but I don't see it. I know a lot of us Niners fans really love him, and I am one of them. But I just think his body of work was too short.
And it's hard to say. Maybe I'm wrong. This is just, I'm being honest with you guys. I'm not gonna shoot sideways on you. I'm gonna shoot straight. One of my favorite players playing their name. Right. Exactly. I'm telling you, man, we come to Levi's, we lose Harbaugh, but Harbaugh was not a sustainable long-term solution at coach. He was a head case. And then of course we all remember what happened after that. Everybody retired. You know, that was that was a bad time, man. We were good for like 3 years, almost 4 years, and then right back down the toilet. I agree. Fernando. We were that close. Yeah, Trey needs some time, but man, he's got absolutely no help. Yeah, the offensive line played horrendous. I completely agree. Gold blood. Yeah, he needs to play behind that starting offensive line. Yeah, I completely agree with you. That backup offensive line is trash. He needs to get some starter reps, but he's got to play against starter. He's going to have to play against starter defense too. So, he might have to take his lumps. You know what I'm saying? Like he might throw some interceptions or, get exposed a little bit. Not saying exposed as in like he's not good. That's not what I'm saying. I mean, like you might see a little bit of a coming back down to earth a little bit is what I'm saying. No, I'm not saying that he won't get in. I might be wrong. I'm not. I'm just saying that like it's hard to say. What's the criteria of the Hall of Fame? You know what I mean? What is their criteria? True. I agree. You're right. I'm not saying you guys are wrong at all. I'm saying the Hall of Fame, like what's their criteria is what I'm saying. Yeah, that's true. I know that they judge offense as more of a glorified position, so I hope you're right, Luke. I hope he does make things hum. Because then we have a great thing because we'll have a really capable, talented backup. You know what I mean? So I do want Jimmy to start this year and I want him to play well and I want Trey to learn and I want Trey to get in there. And you're right. I mean, if the defense plays well and the running game can ball out, kind of that 2019 recipe, then yeah, I think we might have something here. Yeah, Kyle's got a massive ego, dude. Massive. That's why CJ Beathard stayed on this team as long as he did, is because of his ego. Just like Dante Pettis, just like drafting Joe Williams. Massive ego. Great coach, but massive ego. Right. That's what I'm saying. The Hall of Fame, they're kind of inconsistent sometimes. You think about Troy Aikman. He's a 3-time Super Bowl champion, but if you look at Troy Aikman's career numbers, they're pretty pedestrian. You know what I'm saying? Pretty pedestrian. Touchdowns, interceptions, not that impressive. So, we'll see. How long do we have a leash? As long as we're winning, I think Jimmy stays in. If we start the year like say 2-3 or something, and Jimmy's struggling, I see Trey getting in there, honestly. But we'll see. The Niners have a really tough stretch later in the season. So yeah, if the Niners start out slow and Jimmy's, 7 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and the Niners aren't doing much on offense in the past game, then I could see Trey Lance coming in. I don't know. Eli Manning is funny. He has 2 Super Bowl championships and then like a really long list of really bad seasons. Like if you look at some of his statistics as far as interceptions go. So I don't know, man. At this point, I'm so confused about the Hall of Fame. Yeah, Roger Craig to me is a mystery because, yeah, in a lot of people's eyes, he's not a Hall of Famer, but he revolutionized the game at a point where running backs were all about like 4 yards in a cloud of dust. To run for 1,000 and catch for 1,000 is something that we didn't see until Marshall Faulk came along. You know what I mean? I don't know if Marshall Faulk had that exact amount, on both sides, but yeah, he did that before Marshall Faulk, like 10 years before, 12 years before. So yeah, I think he should definitely get a look from the Hall of Fame people, but I don't know. Like I said with Luke Luna, I don't know what their criteria is, man. It seems to be all over the place. I'm watching your stream and they're showing a Yankee game. Yeah, you know what? I'm not as hardcore as I used to be. I do follow, like I look at the box score. I see that they've kind of returned from the depths of hell so far this year, but I can't say that I'm a diehard Yankees fan the way I am with the 49ers. But yeah, the Yankees have been doing well lately, but we'll see. Still a lot of season left to play. I hope Jimmy plays good so we can train him. Yes, in the offseason. I agree. The better Jimmy plays, the better we can get back for him in the offseason. Indeed. Niner fans be like, Lance needs to get the job. And I'm like, why is that? No, Luke, before that preseason game, I was on that mindset of, give it to Trey and Jimmy can sit. But seeing with my own eyes and evaluating things, and I'm not a talent evaluator. I'm not an analyst, just a fan. I see now why Jimmy needs to start. Trey just is raw. He's a raw prospect. So, but who knows how this season's going to go, bro? You never know. He's around the ball. He's solid. I think he's a lot farther along than Ambry Thomas, who seems just kind of blah right now. But who knows, man? Maybe as the season goes on, maybe they struggle this year and then they come in next year and they just have, a different body, come into camp with a different set of expectations. Because if you listen to some of these press conferences with these guys, they're almost like they're just kind of happy to be here right now. Like, I can't believe I'm in the NFL. I can't believe I'm covering so-and-so. It's like they need to get out of that mindset and start realizing that they are where they are and they need to kind of like the deer in headlights thing needs to go away and they need to kind of come back down to earth and be like, okay, we're in the NFL. We need to play really good and cover our guys and not get beat deep and not get tore up, so. There's a lot of what ifs with that. If that happens, bro, I don't know. What do you do? Like, what do you do? You're probably still going to move on from him, unfortunately. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, like a lot of when Trey Lance is down the field, pushing the ball, but you got to be able to execute the offense efficiently, and Jimmy can do that. Yeah, yeah, I see that. I think Jimmy's a little bit more talented physically. He's a better ball thrower, but yeah, I could see the Trent Dilfer comparison. Definitely, Jay. That's right. Everybody's a role player. Everybody's got their role on the team. I think when you say role player, you kind of like maybe demean a guy, but I think with some guys, they definitely have like a role, like a pass rush specialist. Like D Ford is a pass rush specialist when healthy. He can bend the edge and get after it. So he's definitely a role player, but all players are really role players. So I agree. Super Bowl 54 was rigged. Nothing we can do about it now, guys. I don't know if you could take a week by week ultimate report unless it's unless we're kind of, trading wins and losses. Then you could see a week to week thing. But if Jimmy's playing lights out ball and we're like 5-0 or something, you're not going to suddenly switch the reins to another quarterback. That would just be stupid. That's like career suicide for Kyle Shanahan. Yeah, you guys are going to get me into this mindset again. I'll stop talking about the Super Bowl. You get me so depressed. I was so depressed for about like 2 weeks after that Super Bowl. Like just like a girl, like I got dumped at the altar or something. So enough. Jimmy G is Kyle Orton. I think Jimmy's a little better than Kyle Orton. But I see the comparisons of like these average quarterbacks, but I think Jimmy's a better player. You know why the refs are bad in the NFL, guys? Because it's a part-time job. They don't do it all year. They have other jobs, and then they come and they officiate, and then they go back to their other jobs. Human error. I do think that sometimes some of these refs have a little bit of a narrow view, depending on who the player is. Tom Brady. But they did. Listen, I was a Bulls fan in the 90s, and the refs were extremely lenient on Michael Jordan. So, unfortunately, when you're a star player, it seems like the refs give you a little bit more benefit of the doubt. It just, I don't know what to say. Looks like I'm freaking beat. I am beat. I got to be up at 5:20 in the morning. With that being said, guys, I think I'm going to go, but I just wanted to get your guys' opinion on some things, and I appreciate everybody for coming in here. I'm going to get something to drink and then go to bed, and hopefully I'll get on again probably after the second preseason game with the Chargers. Maybe I'll get on after that, and we'll talk. And if any other news drops, guys, as you know, I'm going to get on and talk about it. I might just be a short little video. Yeah, exactly. You say what you want about the refs, but our defense played like poopy at the end. So, and Jimmy played pretty good during the Super Bowl until the end. So there's a lot of factors. To sit there and blame the refs is just it's weak. It's kind of a weak sauce move because we had the opportunity to, if we would have scored a couple times, to put them out of their misery. So no, Jimmy's not going anywhere by the trade deadline. He's here for the year unless he just plays like absolute dookie and they have nothing to do with him. Yeah, I saw that. He did well. He did very well. Hopefully he can do it during the regular season. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate it. Yeah, guys, I'm going to get going. I'm going to go to bed. I'm tired. Thanks everybody for coming in here. Thanks for all the super chats, everyone. I'll probably be on Saturday, like I said, or is it Sunday after the preseason game, and we'll sit there and we'll chit chat for a bit. But until then, guys, everybody stay safe and healthy. Everybody do your thing and in this world, and keep yourself from getting sick with this COVID crap. And thank you on the way out, Luke Luna. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, guys. Everybody have a good night, guys. I'll talk to you later. See ya.